There we go. And now what we can do is we can go right inside of here, or not here, we can go to the player, and in the player what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and say right click, no, in the camera, here's the camera over here. This is the third person character setup that we made in the previous videos. If you know, if you want to learn how to make third person character controller inside of Unity, make sure you see my video. The link will be in the description box below. Simple as that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and select the player and go ahead and say right click and create a camera in there. Now we have a camera inside of a player, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and set it to look down, so it's 90 degrees rotation in the X, and bring it up so that we can see the player. And what I think I should do is I should set to orthographic, so that there is no perspective in there. So even if I bring the up and down, as you can see, there's nothing happening in there. So that's pretty cool, and this is how you make a top-down game. So it looks pretty awesome over here, and because of there is no post-processing, it looks little dumb. But if I select the camera, okay, so as you can see in this camera the post-processing is there, and in there's no post-processing in here. So there's a huge difference between this and that, right? So yeah, cool. So if you want to learn how to get the best graphics out of Unity, like this one over here, so as you can see there's a reflection and all that. So if you want to learn all of this, make sure you see my video. The link will be also in the description box below. So how to do all of this cool post-processing. Okay, and now what we want to do is you can set the minimap to something like this. So if I play the game right now, you will see that it will act pretty normally, and I'm gonna go ahead and okay, so as you can see we can move around and it looks like a minimap to me, but I cannot move my player correctly. I'm gonna go ahead and select the enemy first and disable him so that I do not have to worry about killing myself. Now if I play the game, you will see that the camera will actually follow me, as you can see, and we can move around and do that. So camera is following me. However, yeah, it's pretty nice. So this can be our minimap over here. However, it does not looks like a minimap right now, right? It looks like a full game playing over here. So what we want to do is we want to make him look like a minimap. So if I go to some reference, as you can see this is a minimap of some game, and let's scroll, and as you can see it looks pretty nice. So the player, instead of this player, as you can see over here, we have this where is it, we have this arrow kind of a thing, and then as you can see these are symbols, not actual buildings. So as you can see there's a little building, and on top of that is symbol, 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 and symbol, symbol, symbol. If I go to watchdogs minimap, so one of them like this one, so as you can see it is not actual buildings, it's just images. As you can see this one, this is only an image, right? So we want images to be shown over here so that it will be lighter for the camera to render, and it will, you know, give us best performance and all that. So how do we do that? So first thing what we need to do is we need to go to Google and download some images. For example, I'm gonna go ahead and say player, I don't know what's called, player arrow, PNG maybe, I don't know. Like I want this kind of an arrow over here. So how do we get that arrow? Okay, this one, yeah, looks good, but I want it to be green. I want it to be white so that we can change it at change the color on our will. So I'm gonna go ahead and say white arrow PNG, and nope, 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 nope. Now yeah, this one looks good, I think. So you can find these really awesome arrows. You can also make them by yourself using you know, Illustrator or Photoshop. But yeah, let's go ahead and download this one. Save image as, and then save it in its PNG, drag it inside of Unity and in my assets. So as you can see it is right over here, but it does not looks like the one that we just downloaded. Like this one has no background, and this one has black background and looks really weird. So in order to fix that, select this image and go to texture type and select that and set this to sprite 2D and UI and say apply. And as you can see it is same as where is it, same as this one, right? So it has no background and all that, so that is pretty nice. And I think that is all. Okay, but before we do anything with this thing, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and project all of these things that we are seeing with this camera to this raw image. All right, so that's not a big deal. So what you got to do is you got to go ahead and say create and a render texture, and I'm gonna call this mini map texture. There we go. And as you can see, this is now a minimap texture. What we have to do is we have to go to the camera that we just made inside of our layer, this one that looks down, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the output settings, and in there we have to drag and drop the render texture that we just made. So drag and drop the target texture in there, and if I select this guy right now, as you can see, the texture is now projecting all of this that is rendering on this camera. So if I bring this guy over here and if I select this right now, as you can see, it updates. If I bring it back, there we go, and now it updates again. Alright, so this is rendering everything that is rendering over here. Now what we're gonna do is we want to go ahead and project this guy on top of this guy. So that is also really simple. So select this image that we just made over here, this one, and then simply drag and drop the render texture on top of that. And now as you can see, we have the minimap over there. If I play the game, it will properly work and there should be no problem. So there we go. We can look around and we can move around, and this is pretty much the minimap over here. If you want, you can also come out and make it a little bigger. So how we do that is we can come to the camera and make the size of the camera bigger, or I think smaller. Yeah, bigger and smaller, and as you can see now the minimap becomes big and small. So you can make it real big, real small, it is up to you. So it looks okay to me, but what we want to do is we actually want to get this kind of a really nice minimal kind of a minimap effect. So how do we do that is really simple. So you get out and select the player. In my case it's called, say right click, 2D game object and a sprite. I'm gonna call this mini player, and go ahead and drag and drop the image that you just downloaded. In my case it's this arrow, and go ahead and drag it on there, and there we have it over there. So now I'm gonna set this up. So if I come over here, as you can see there, we can see the player over there. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up over here like that, and then make it smaller. And yeah, you should do that according to how it looks over here. I'm gonna make it smaller somewhat like this, so it looks good over there. However, we can also see it in here, and also we can see the player over there, so it looks really awkward and really, you know, not good. So how do we do that is we go ahead and select the minimap camera. So as you can see, there is a culling mask over here, so it is set to everything. If I set it to nothing, we cannot render anything, which means the layer, these are all the layers. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and select the minimap player and set it to separate layer so that we can only render that layer. Alright, so go to layer and say add layer, and add a layer. I have already done that, minimap, and then come back to your minimap layer and set that to minimap layer. There we go. Now we have to go to the minimap camera and set the culling mask to nothing, and then set it to minimap only. So now as you can see, we are only rendering minimap layer, that is this player over here. So if I come over here, we can only see that over there, but we also don't want to see this arrow sticking out of his legs. So how do we do that is we come to the main camera and set the culling mask to everything except the minimap, just like that. And as you can see, we cannot see that over here, but we still can see it over there, so that's pretty nice. Now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and do quite the same thing for everything. For example, I want to set this guy in minimap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and say right click, create a 2D game object and a sprite, reset its transform so it's right in center, and then go ahead and drag and drop any sprite. In my case, I want to drag and drop the square in there, and then make the square real big. But before I do that, make it like that, and make this square real big according to this guy. So make the length and width according to this guy. There we go. Alright, okay, and also set the rotation to 0. Oh no, 90 degrees. There we go. Looks okay to me. But as you can see, we can still see it over there, and we cannot see it over there. So how do we do that is by fixing it by setting it to minimap layer. And as you can see, that is over there. It looks really weird because it's white, so I have to set it to something like gray. And if I set it to gray, as you can see, now it looks really nice. If I play the game right now, you will see that if I come over here and move over there, now you can see this platform is ending over here. Also same goes for the minimap, so the minimap layer is also in the ending of the platform, so that's pretty nice, right? So the position and all that is syncing quite nicely and everything is quite nicely working. Now what we have to do is we have to do the same thing for these walls and obstacles. So how do we do that is we come out and give these also some things. So I'm gonna call this one ground, mini ground. There we go. And I think I will duplicate this guy and set this to wall. Oops, wall. There we go. And make it smaller for just one wall. Okay. And I think I will set the wall color to white. Now what you can do is you can go ahead and set these guys to anything. For example, if I come over here and try to download a 3D a sprite for a building, so let's say building PNG logo thing, kind of like that. So yeah, you can download or make these kind of things. Let's say I want to use something like this one, maybe, I don't know, I just want to test it out, right? So you can you know, download much better things or something like that, but I'm gonna just go ahead and download this one, but it's not PNG right now. So okay, PNG, what should it say, vector, I guess, vector building PNG, this one I guess, or this one I guess, I don't know, it should be PNG. Yeah, it's PNG. Save this and it is PNG. Save that, drag it inside over here, inside of Unity, drag it in there and set this to Sprite 2D and UI. Apply that, and let's say this is a building. Alright, this one is a building. So how do we say it in the minimap? So select this guy and I'm gonna set this to building. There we go, and then drag and drop the building thing in there and set this to white. Okay, bring it up a bit. Oops, bring it up just like that, and there we go. As you can see, we have the building over there. I'm gonna go ahead and make this smaller according to this guy. So now we have building over there. If I play the game right now, you will see that it will quite nicely sync with the position and all that, and it will look really nice. Come over here, so there is the building over there, and we are now close to the building and all that. You know, it's working quite nicely, right? So this is the building, and yeah, that is the building. Now I'm gonna go so this is how you make it, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate this ground and make it for all of these walls, and then I'm gonna go ahead and also make a sprite for the enemy also. I'm gonna set this to white. There we go. Go in the top view and make it smaller, and also make it smaller. Duplicate the same king and there, and then there. I'm gonna roughly do it. There we go. Duplicate the same thing. Wait, what? I just messed up. I have to do that again over there. Okay, bring it over here and make it larger and do that, and then of course you can add as many as you want. You can also similarly add the roads and all that, so that is also pretty nice and easy. So yeah, you can add roads and all that, and it's all up to you, it's all up to your imagination. Duplicate this and put it over there. So now you can see we have these guys over there. I think I should set the mini player to green, I don't know. So this is why I used the white one, so that we can easily change the colors. Otherwise, if it's black or something else, we cannot easily change the colors at all. So now it's pretty nicely working. So here's a wall, and here's a wall, here's a wall, and there's a building, and everything is quite nicely working, syncing up. Now in order to make the enemy, we do the same thing. We come out and let's say bring this guy out over here. So select the enemy and also the, what is it, cube or something. Select the cube. There we go. and bring him near so that we can see him in the minimap. And then I'm gonna go ahead and drag the ground, duplicate it, put it over there, so that we can see the ground, make it bigger and put it over there. And then what we have to do is we have to select the enemy, this one, enemy, and in there we have to just copy and paste the one that we just made for the player. So copy in the enemy, paste it, and I'm gonna set this to mini enemy, and then set this to red for the enemy, and set the position to 0 0 and 0, and there it is, and change the rotation accordingly, and there we have it. Now we have an enemy over there. Now if I play the game, we should see the enemy somewhere over there. If I move over there, so come over here, okay, we can see that, but we cannot see the enemy, because if I come out, make sure the enemy PNG is up a bit, just like that, and then go ahead and select the camera, mini camera. As you can see, the mini camera is on this level, however the mini enemy is a little above. Alright, so as you can see, it's a little above, so just go ahead and take the mini camera and bring him up just like that, and then go ahead and play the game. Everything should properly work. There we go, and run over there and see if we can see the enemy, and there it is. There's the enemy on top, so we can see him over there, and it is also right in there. Cool, and kill him, and there he is, dead. Nice. So this is how you make minimap inside of Unity. Real simple, real easy, yet really awesome. Oops. So yeah, that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Till then, be cool.